Good afternoon. Today's the 10th of April. 5 more days till taxes are due. April Helm shared some information on Facebook this week. Said, you know what? The IC3 got over 1 million complaints in 2025. Over $21 billion were lost. And it's getting worse. That's not global. That's just the United States. And if you think this happens to certain people, you might be exactly who they're counting on. Hello, everyone. This is the Anatomy of Modern Romance Scams. This is our continuing podcast where we break down how these scams really work, how trust gets built, how manipulation happens, and how people are pulled into financial traps before they realize it. Now, I know this because it happened to me. I'm Michael B., and I'll be your host. My goal here is simple: to pull back the curtain so you can recognize these scams before they recognize you. Now, I promised several times that I'd get back to the absolute mechanics of how these work. I will. But this needs to be said first. When April shared those 2025 numbers, I went and looked for myself, and here's what I found. If you're over 60, you lost $7.7 billion in 2025. If you're in your 50s, $3.6 billion. If you're in your 40s, nearly $3 billion. 30s, over $1.7 billion. This is across every age group, across every background, and it's climbing. Now, here's a point that I want to make. This is what is logged. I'm not sure what goes unreported. I would suggest, perhaps, that the amounts that we're talking about might be underreported just because people clam up when this happens to them. They either engage in self-harm or they don't say anything, because this is extremely embarrassing when it happens. There's one thing that this does tell me. These numbers are up like 37% from 2024. So it tells me that something is not working. Things are not working. Not for Americans. Not for you and me. They're working out great if you're a scammer. But they're not working for you and me. Now, organizations like AARP, Fraud Watch Network, and others, hey, they're doing very good work. But remember, they're mostly reactive. Shamrock. A lot of them are reactive. Law enforcement simply can't keep up. And most of these cryptocurrencies, if you know anything about cryptocurrency, is those transactions are very difficult to track. Once they're gone, usually they're gone. And your chances of recovery are slim to none. The government's getting more and more engaged as people like April, organizations like Shamrock, AARP get engaged, but the government is pretty bureaucratic. Okay, they've got all kinds of competing issues, competing programs. They're just too slow. They're just tied up in bureaucracy. And are these scams really something that are important enough for them to address? Maybe, maybe not. There is some engagement, but right now it's obviously not effective. So what is the solution? I recommend at least one. It involves you. It involves me. It's us. And you know what? We can't wait. Because while we're waiting, there are organized groups overseas, trained, funded, and focused on doing one thing: taking everything that you have. When I say everything, I mean everything. And here's the part that should bother you. We live in a world where something meaningless can go viral overnight. Millions of views, millions of hits. But something like this, something that can actually protect people, barely gets talked about. That has to change. And that change starts with us. Now, there's some core truths regarding these scams. They don't work because people are unintelligent. They work because the criminals are really that good. They're that good at building trust, at creating connections, at manipulating emotions. So we have to be better at spotting these, better at stopping them, better at talking about these, better at supporting each other. Now, do we have to have this conversation every time we sit down for dinner? No, but it is something that needs to be talked about. It's not talked about because, like me, everyone thought, nah, I know what's going on. I know the score. I know how these scams work. I've been educated. I educate my team. I talk with people at work. I talk with, my colleagues. I talk with my family. I got this. Until I answered just one simple DM on Twitter. Hey, I really liked your post, and I'd like to talk more about it. And away it went. I just responded back. As soon as you do that, you're in hot water. You just don't realize it. Okay? So again, more speaking about it, better at spotting these. Because awareness leads to prevention. So I would encourage you, please, on these podcasts, don't just listen. Share these. Share them with your family, with your friends, the people that you care about, because this affects everyone. Figure out how you can leverage this. Okay? If it comes up in conversation with people at church, talk with them about it. Your colleagues at work, talk with them about it. All right? There's a few rules. They're very strong. First, be gentle with each other. These scams happen in the gap between emotion and logic. That gap is engineered. Your loved one is emotionally engaged. Hopefully, by now, you realize that and you understand that from our conversations. Secondly, and I can't emphasize this enough, no one can teach you cryptocurrency over the internet. If someone asks you for money or gift cards to move your funds, to access your funds, to help them because you're the only one in the planet who understands them and can help. It can be any emotional ploy, but if there is any conversation about money, cryptocurrency, investing, teaching, let me help you, let me show you, you're getting scammed. There's no question, 100%, you're getting scammed. You're going to try and say, oh no, I'm not. We have these goals. They're investing with me. Blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you right now, you're getting scammed. And if you're involved right now, get out. You be the one who disappears. You be the one who goes. Because the longer that you stay, the more you're going to lose. Let me repeat that. The longer you stay involved, the more you're going to lose. And if you get that message, hi, I liked your post. Can we talk about it? Oh, I'm sorry. This is Linda. This is Robert. It doesn't matter. I got the wrong number. Well, I'm just looking for some new friends and you sound nice. Delete it. Delete that message. That one-off, seemingly harmless, innocuous message. Delete it. Block that person and walk away. Now there's some other rules that will help you. The FBI reminded me, hey, if that person that you might have a call with, if they talk in, with an accent, be very wary. But again, the biggest thing to watch out for on these is the dopamine open-ended questions or the dopamine questions of, or the dopamine assertions of, I love you, you're doing great, you're the most important person, nobody understands me like you do. All those things that elicit that, wow, I feel really good with this person. Hey, you know what? I try and keep these podcasts clean, but that's just pure bullshit. Well, I'm sorry for my language, but that's what it is. I'm going to call it like it is on that one. That is just pure BS. You get these messages, you delete them, you block them, and you walk away. You just do not allow them into your head, into your house, on your computer, or anywhere within reach of your family. The longer you do, the more you do, the more danger that you're in. But I will say this, okay? The first time you respond, you're in it up to your neck. You don't understand the game. You may think you do, but you don't. I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. I made a major mistake. People who know me, Michael, I can't believe you did that. Quite honestly, I can't believe I did that either. I just responded to one. That's all it took. I can't tell you how costly that was. Listen, I want to say thank you for listening, spending a few minutes with me today. There's so many places where you can invest your time, and I appreciate you sharing this time with me. This has been the Anatomy of Modern Romance Scams. If this episode helped you better understand how these scams work, please consider sharing it with someone you care about. Please do share it. Please ask them to share it. Awareness is one of the most powerful tools we have to prevent others from becoming victims. That is a fact. I hope you'll join me next time as we continue breaking down how these scams unfold. I promise you, we will get back into the specific mechanics and take this down to the next levels. There's a lot to talk about, and the deception is not only was it orchestrated extremely well, but there are many different levels that we need to speak to. We'll do that. Until then, stay aware, stay protected, and always, always stay safe. This is Michael B.